Welcome to another episode of Groovi Tuesday. My name is Paul Church from Clarity Stamp here in the UK. I know it takes a little bit of a while for people to start coming in, so I shall just waffle for myself for a little bit. Hope everybody's well since we last met last Tuesday. Definitely been a long week this week despite the bank holiday. So I hope everyone had a lovely bank holiday. It's the weather was normally it rains on a bank holiday, doesn't it? But it was lovely yesterday, and but today we've got the rain. So the weather thinks the bank holiday is a day later than planned. So hopefully you can all hear me waffling and talking about nonsense. There we go. I can see Sheila. Good morning, Sheila from Peterborough. Lynn, good morning, Karen, lovely lady. Everybody's lovely today. It's a lovely day today, despite the drizzly rain outside. So lots of coffee required. So hope everybody's doing well. Hopefully you can hear me. There we go. Here comes Kin, Karen, Jill. Good morning. Good morning, Jackie. So yeah, it's going to be a good day today. Good morning from Lorraine, from Estepona. Can hear and see well. Thank you very much. Good morning, Ken. Here it comes, everybody. Everybody's pulling up to the party. We're going to have a groovy Tuesday. So yeah, so there was lots going on since we spoke last week. Thursday afternoon on Create and Craft saw the launch of the brand new Christmas Treasures Set 2, Joy to the World from Linda Williams. Very, very popular. And yeah, that really went mad, that did. So we've got Set 2. There we go. That should be Stuart is in the room with you. Sound is good. Thank you, Stuart. So if you've got any questions, Stuart's there to help. And I'm sure the design team will be popping in during the course of this hour as well. Yeah, so we had the new and exclusive from Linda Williams that Barbara launched on Thursday at 4 and then at 8. Then on Friday, we then had the beautiful little doodle stamps that were showcased during our Clarity retreats. So popular. And the embedders, you just can't get enough of those embedders, the rectangles and the squares. And we've now got the ovals and the circles. What else? Oh yeah. How could I forget? I teased you, didn't I, last week with the companion papers. So we've got the companion papers for Northern Lights, Indian Summer, Rainbow River, Shenandoah, Amazonia, Toscana, and Waimea Falls. 7 different options. And you also get these lovely little swatches. I didn't bring anything in with me today. So these are the lovely little swatches, double-sided, that you get with each of the companion papers. So if we look at the size of them, what are they? They are, get the ruler right. So they're about 9.5 centimeters by approximately 7. So is that ATC size? What's ATC size? So inches wise, old school, 9.75 by 2.75. I think that works for ATCs. Fantastic little toppers for stamping on, just flicking through to see what colours are in each of the companion sets. So yeah, so they put, and the cracker die. I teased you with the little cracker, didn't I, last week? It's all coming back to me now. It's all coming back. Takes a while nowadays. But yeah, so we had those shows. Friday morning, 8 a.m. was the final hour of the new and exclusive. Then at 9 o'clock and 1 o'clock saw the launch of those beautiful stamps and the companion papers. So if you missed any of the shows, you can go back and watch on Rewind via the Create and Craft website. Yeah, so many tips and tricks and hints. And I mean, the papers are just beautiful. They're just really, really gorgeous. And it's always hard to find the right color tone. So these are all bespoke. You won't find this color palette anywhere else. And they're quite sophisticated when you start to sort of play with them. Really, really beautiful and sophisticated in, they've got that sort of, although they're quite bright and fresh in some of the designs, they're quite earthy, if you know what I mean. So yeah, so that was fun weekend at the TV. What time did we get back? I don't think we got back to about 6ish on Friday. So yeah, so that was all good fun. So I'm just waffling a little bit until people pull up a chair and get ready. There we go. I can see the lovely Jane is in the building with you. So any questions whatsoever, I'll try and keep an eye out for questions that pop up. And but if not, I'm sure Stuart or the lovely Jane will be able to help you out if you have any questions. So didn't really put away the stuff from last week, he says, but then where did I put it all? We were, here it is, it's hiding. Hidey. So just have a bit of a recap. Ooh, let me zoom out on that one. Came in close, didn't I, for the papers? Zoom out. There we go, go out slowly. There we go. So it's a nice day in Northumberland. Northumberland. Good to hear. It's drizzly and grey and wet down here, but you know what? It will always disappear. It will always change with a blink of an eye. So we've been working with one of the previous issues of the Groovi Club, issue 65, designed by the lovely Linda Williams, and we've been working our way through the various projects that Linda created. And as I explained previously, this is where the concept of the easy layout plates all started, with a conversation as a result of this with Barb. And but what we did, we deconstructed it, or not deconstructed it, we worked through the project step by step that Linda created. Okay, so we had a look at that one. So this is Linda's masterpiece, and then my piece, just a variation on a theme, similar layouts, similar colorings. I used the corner punches to attach mine. Linda used Brad's. So it was sort of just showing different alternatives of what you could do with the same layout. Just notice that Linda put the little landscape or in the background. I left my one empty. See, it's all about choices. It really is. And then the second project we've been working on is this one here. Okay. And what Linda's done, she created a beautiful frame using Josie's little sampler plate, the A4 square sampler plates, and to create the frame, and then a beautiful masterpiece in the middle just finishes it off. So what we've been doing, or what I've been doing, is we took another of Josie's designs, and this is the frame that comes in the plate mate for A4 and A4 square grids, and we just took very simply the frame exactly how it comes. So there was no measuring, no working it out, no lining it up. We just took a piece of A5 parchment, traced it as it came, and then we did a little bit of picot cutting just to infill the area. Okay, so we sort of broke it down into various different stages, and we did what I thought was the easiest part first. Okay, let's pop that to one side. Then what we did, we started to have a look in a little bit more detail on how Linda created her pieces. So often when you see work by Linda and Francis especially, the very sort of traditional method and styling in relation to when they work with their design, there's no crisp white line like there is with the robe and the flagpoles. And Barbara showcased this on as part of the Noon exclusive last week. Let me just zoom in a little bit. so we can really focus. There we go. Easy does it. Okay, so you can see here there's no solid white line like there is here on the heels or on the ropes, as I said. So in order to get that effect, we looked at different configurations on tracing out and using the different ball tools for our design. Okay, so this one takes the number 1 tool to give us that beautiful crisp white line. The number 2 tool, because it has a ball on the end, like so, gives us a softer line. Then we went with the number 3 tool, and it's even fainter. And then number 4, you can barely see it. So it all depends on how good your eyesight is. Me personally, I would go with the number 3. I can see that. I mean, I can see the number 4, but I definitely need a light panel if I was working on that. Okay, so we had a look at the sort of tracing out, and let's say Barb covered this in the new and exclusive, and it was also a technique that she covered in the craft along a few weeks back. So so it's giving you options and just adapting what we do. Okay, then we had a look at doing the white work and where to position the ball tool. So we explained that if you take, especially when you're working with the larger ball tools, if you put the outer part of the ball, let me grab the 6mm ball tool just to re-illustrate. So if you put which is what I always used to do, let me come around this way. If you put the ball tool, the outer edge, against that line, when you start to stretch the parchment, you'll end up with a space, a gap between where the white work should start. I've just seen the comment from Ken. I'm not going to sing, Ken, don't worry. So you get a gap. Now you may want that gap, it depending on the design that you're working on. But in order so that you don't get a gap, then what you do, whatever the size of the ball tool is, you take the center of the ball on that line, so that when you start to stroke outwards, you then get a seamless connection between the edge of the design and your white work. We also had a look at the sort of the different types of not different types, the different techniques in relation to white work. So for example, if this is my paper, if you want solid white and you're working on a small area, see, we're going to look at the lines on my fingers as a guide. So if you want all of this completely white, then you can go backwards and forwards like so, keeping the ball tool in one place, but remembering to put the ball in the middle of the line, and when you finish, stop on the middle of the line as well. Okay, but if you want that soft gradient, then what you do is you have to lift away. So you lift, so it's either like an aeroplane taking off or striking a match. Okay, so with the lighthouse, we wanted that solid color. But for me personally, when we're working, even in a small area, I tend to come in, let's bring that in the middle. I'll come in on one side and I'll do a flicking, and then I'll come in from the right side and then I'll flick back into the middle again. Okay, so it's all about having those choices on where you want to take it. So last week we started to, because I traced all of mine out in the number 1 tool, there we go. I traced all of mine out in the number 1 tool. We can visibly see the outside lines on the design compared to what Linda's done, where I think you'll agree, it gives that sort of that dimension of it being round, like a lighthouse would be. Okay. Excuse me. And then we did several layers using the various different ball tools. So I thought what we could do today, we'd sort of, I don't know whether we will get it finished as promised, but we can give it a go, can't we? So I reckon I could probably do with a little bit more white work, and because it's rested for a week, it's going to go whiter a lot quicker. So, sorry, I'm chuckling at all the comments coming up in reference to the film Frozen. Now, have I seen it? No, I haven't, but I do get I understand where everybody's coming from. I mean, it's a very well-known song, isn't it? Let It Go. So if anyone hasn't heard that song, I'd be very much surprised. So I'm going to work on the back of my A4 black mat, which comes in the starter kit. So I'm going to bring that in now. So what we're going to do for this session, let's have a bit of a recap. I'm going to use my number 6, my number 4.5 ball tool, if I can grab it out of my bag. I'm going to use my number 3 and my number 4 Groovi tools, and maybe my number 2 tool there. Okay, so these are the tools we're going to be working with. I'm working on the black mat, and on the back of the black mat, I need a cello bag that I'm sure I had here before. So let me just root around. There we go, found it. A little bit of a cello bag, because that acts as a resist on the mat, so I don't put too much pressure. Now you may want to use the pink mat, it's entirely up to you. Okay, oh, this chair's got stuck on the carpet. I was trying to slide the chair over and I was going, I thought I'm going to fall off in a minute. I'm glad it was on the overhead because that wouldn't have been fun. Well, maybe it would be. And we need a Groovi guard. I think these Groovi guards have got a mind of their own. They just seem to disappear and hide all the time. And I know where mine is. Mine is in my box of tricks. Oh, he says, sorry, crashing and banging. It's in the box of tricks that I haven't unloaded from TV yet from last week. So I'm just going to grab that out of there. Now I've got several in here, but it's no good to me in here, is it? So there you go. Technology is great. Having the capabilities of being able to move around. Okay, so Groovi guards. So that's what we're going to need for this session. And then I thought we'd introduce some colour. And for that, I thought what we would do is we've got choices. We can go with the pens, we can go with the pencils, depending on how intense in colour we want to go. Okay, so again, depends what you have in front of you. The polychromos are a fantastic pencil to work with these, but so are the pergoliners. And I'm just walking around and I'm just trying to find, see, I've tidied up, you see. Isn't it typical? You tidy up and you can't find anything. I'm sure it will appear when we need it. Anyhow, so that's what we're going to need. Oh, this carpet. I need to get a mat to go onto this chair. Otherwise, I really will have a bit of an accident. So that's what we're going to need for this session, and also colouring implements. So the choice is yours. I'll give you a few options and you can decide what you want to go with. So another sip of coffee. And I think we're good to go. Okay. I see we have some new people in the room. Welcome. Lovely to have your company. Very friendly crowd in here. I need to just move that. Very friendly crowd in here. Crowd, that makes you sound sort of like quite boisterous. A very friendly group of lovely ladies and gentlemen that are always here to help. We have Groovi Worldwide and Clarity Worldwide and Pergamano Worldwide on Facebook. So there's lots of ideas and inspirations there. There we go. Oh, it's lovely. Oh, I love this. So many new people. It's brilliant. Welcome. Now, if you want to go back and watch any of the previous episodes, I'm sure Stuart will put a link into our YouTube page, and you can go back and watch all the various different episodes. I mean, this episode this week is episode 63. What's that group? Group of parchies. I wonder whether there's a collective for parchers. Maybe we should come up with one. Yeah. So welcome. Hope you enjoy it. I hope you come back. Okay. Right. Are we good to go? I think we're good to go. This isn't going to need much white work because we did several layers last week. And so because we've let it rest for a week, I think it will come back whiter a lot quicker. So should we give it a go? Are we ready? Limber up. We've got our tools ready and off we go. Okay. So we're working on the back still, he says, making sure. I've got my little bit of cello bag and I'm going to put my work on there. So if I turn this over and have a look at my clouds, they seem a little bit fluffy. Let me bring this up, see if I can come in closer. It'd be easier for me to bring this up rather than get up. I mean, I quite like the look of that cloud, but I think it needs to be a little bit closer to the line. What do you think? Although it looks a little bit shadowy. So, okay, turn it over. I'm going to give it a little wipe with my tumble dry sheet. Okay, and I reckon I'm going to go for the number 3 tool. So I'm actually going to put, my eyes are a little tired at the moment, so I'm going to put my glasses on. Hopefully they'll clean. Still haven't been back to the opticians to get a new prescription. Well, I've had them tested. I need a new prescription. Okay, so I'm going to work upside down. I'm going to take my groovy guard to focus the area in which I'm working. Okay, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go along that edge very, very gently. And I can see already how it's starting to definitely go whiter and definitely connect the white work with the outline of the design. Now I do need to be careful that I don't go on too heavy. Okay, so now I'm going to move along, sticking with the number 3 tool, and then we're just going to go in and just intensify that whiteness. Okay, we'll do the same on here, down the side of the window. Nice and easy. And then continue along the line there. There we go. That's definitely filling in the areas. So it's definitely a good idea to leave it for a week. And then I can see, especially with my glasses on, I can see where it hasn't gone right up to the edge. Okay, so let's turn that over. Yes, much better. So you can see now there's no longer that line between the edge. There we go. So let's move over to this little cloud over here. So I definitely need to, there we go. And I'm just going to gently close in the cloud to the edge. Who's finished their piece? Anybody finish their piece, or do you sort of, you watch and then do it afterwards, or are you way ahead because you've already got issue 65 and you've been working through it? But go on, let me know. Let me know if you've already completed this project. Okay, now we're going to move to the little flags. Still sticking with the, and what I'm doing is I'm going round in a curve in the shape of the flag. And just add that in like so. Okay. Easy. I don't, it feels as if I'm holding my breath, but I'm not, honestly. Can't talk and hold my breath at the same time. Okay. Definitely getting there. Yes. I'm really pleased with that. Really, really am. Okay, so let's have a look at the fence posts. So I reckon, yeah, we'll stick with the number 3 again. And with the fence posts, we're just putting some white work just on the top of those posts. And during the last week, we spoke about if you did have any gaps that you wanted to fill, then you could use your white pencil to fill in. If you didn't feel comfortable going so closely to the edge, so to speak, then you could use a white pencil to fill in those areas. Now remember, if you're going to do that, you need to be on a hard surface. Otherwise you'll definitely go through your parchment. Now for these little ball rushes, I reckon I'm going to risk it and go with the number 2 tool. Definitely gentle pressure here. Yeah. And also you'll get a feel of when you're doing your white work, you'll get a feel on how much pressure to apply and whether you think you're sort of right on the edge of potentially going through. Okay. And especially in these smaller areas as well, because I've traced out with the number 1 tool to get that crisp line, the parchment is definitely weaker up against those lines. So it's just something to be aware of, really. So now I'm going to switch back to the number 3 and we'll add some more white work to the pebbles. Okay. A little bit of that on there. Now these tiny little pebbles, I'm going to go back to the number 2. So it's all about having choices, and the size of your ball tool definitely makes a difference. So what else have we got left to do? So now let's turn this round. Yeah, I can definitely see a difference in the white work. And because obviously I'm on black background, it doesn't look as white. So if I was to pop it onto a piece of designer paper, especially our new companion papers as well. And let me just take a little swatch. Let's have a look. See, look, there's so many. This is from Waimea Falls. See, so if I go with that behind it, you can definitely see the white work popping now, can't you? Or I wonder what happens. See, this is a good way of testing as well. I mean, if you've got them in your folders in 8x8, see, I think this might be a little bit too dark, but yeah, a little bit too dark on that one. But what's on the other side? Let's have a look. So we've got a light, oh, tealy colour. Would that work? Yeah, that looks nice. Or we've got a very, would you call it a duck egg blue, or not so good. Definitely sort of one of the darker blues on there. See, these little swatches are great. Because I haven't got my book to hand. But I wonder, yeah. So this is from, let's say, from Waimea Falls. Beautiful double-sided. Lovely little swatches. which you get with your paper pads. Okay, so now I just need to do a little bit more white work on the, I don't know what this part's called on the boat, edge. So I'm sure somebody said the other week what this was called, and I have forgotten. So a week was a long time ago. So, okay, so I reckon for this one, I'm going to go with the 4.5 ball tool, and I'm just going to go over the whole area first. Okay. Come back in this way. Remember the middle of the ball tool on the line. The bow. I nearly said bow. The bow pull. Bow. Okay. Thank you, Tina. I was going to say, isn't it funny? Words like that, bow and bow, spelt the same, but pronounced completely different and have different meanings. I suppose it's like, no. Yeah. I was just trying. I wonder what there's got to be other words out there, isn't there, that do that? They have the same spelling, but they are pronounced differently and have different meanings. So if Barbara was in the room, she'd know exactly what that type of word is. Yeah. Barb's definitely more, well, she was a linguist. Yeah, she was a translator, wasn't she? So I nearly said linguini. I'm sure Barb likes linguini, but linguistics, yeah, that's the word. I'm not going to talk about any words anymore. I'm getting all tongue-tied. So there we go. So we're just going to add a little bit more there. Now this area I can feel is quite weak and gentle, so I'm not going to go too heavy on the white work. So let's have a look now. Yes, I like it. I like it. Now if we bring in Linda's piece, you can see Linda's done some further different levels of white work. Over here, she's put some on the front of the boat. And she's created this very soft gradient over here to give the effect of planks of wood. As if, see, my one's just made out of fiberglass. There's no planks of wood on there. Where Linda's one, I reckon it's probably a real old-fashioned little boat made out of wood. Yeah, see, so you could change the design, can't you? You can put wood planks in it, or you can leave it, go a little bit more modern and go fiberglass. I'm sure the fiberglass is probably, well, they're both waterproof, aren't they? They're boats. So, yeah. Choices. So, we'll just let that rest for a little bit. I think we're doing good for time. Let's just pop that over there. And I just wanted to give you a bit of a recap if you missed any of the TV shows last week, just to show you those fantastic Christmas treasures from Linda Williams. I've got a few pieces of artwork as well. So it's the next 5 in the collection. So I'll zoom back out now. Ooh. Stretch. So zoom out. So we're going to go that way. There we go. Okay. So we have the lovely O Little Town of Bethlehem. That was one of the designs in the set of 5. Then we have Away in a Manger. Love. See, they've all got beautiful frames that can be used throughout the year, anytime. Then we have For Unto Us a Child is Born. Love this. It reminds me of sort of like the top of wrought iron fencing or a gate thing. Really beautiful. It's like a fleur. Isn't it like a fleur de lis? Then we have Silent Night, Holy Night. This is beautiful as well. So you could just put that around your piece of artwork and then sort of do like a real sort of stained glass window effect with the colouring. Then we have the Christmas verse frames. So this month it was the round one, so Joy to the World. Lovely little sort of rope effect. So let's have a look at them in sort of in context. So we've looked at them, the plates, exactly how they come. Okay, so let's have a look at the little display boards. Definitely going to zoom out a bit more for this one. We need to get remote control, don't we? Out. I'm sure that there probably is a little gadget that could zoom in, zoom out. So you can see even the frames changed. Then look, so that was the frames just like so. Okay. Then we also have the frames without any verses in them. I've kept the verse in around the outside. Okay. Really, I mean, look at that. I mean, as I say, these frames have been designed to work with our Pico circles as well. So throughout the year, you can use these. Okay. Then when we put them into context with the design, so Bethlehem. So on the larger one, I've included the arch, and then as the designs get smaller, I've left elements of it. See, that's what the beauty of the Groovi system is that you can take different elements from them, reduce them in size, keep them as they are, not physically reduce them in size, but make smaller pieces. Then we have Away in a Manger. See, look at that. I mean, it's just very, very simple, but very, I could have just put a little star in there. Then we have this one, Unto Us a Star is Born. So this one I've included, see that arch would be lovely anytime. And then on this one, I've just taken different elements. Okay. And then finally, the Three Wise Men. Can't remember their names, but this one, he's got lost. He's on his own. They've lost a friend, and he's definitely lost. So it just depends on the size of the card you want to make. And I've got a few pieces of artwork here from the design team, because I know we always struggle to really sort of show off the artwork that the design team have done. Now, this one by Jane Telford. I mean, Jane did this last month's Christmas Treasures 1 on a circle with the little houses, but I love how it's created its own unique design and shape. So she's taken the manger in the middle and then put Bethlehem around all four sides. Then using the frame on its own, this one's by Carol Baker. And what Carol's done, she's taken different colours parchment and just layered them up. So she's pico cut the inside. We've got the lovely, I wonder what colour parchments she's used. Doesn't say what colours she's used. But that, I reckon that's either the light and dark green or, see look, I didn't realise it sort of, it moves slightly. I don't think it's intended to move. I think it just, where it's not being attached. There we go. Then we have a piece by Francis, very traditional. So this type of colouring here, let me bring this one up closer. So this is what Barb did in the craft along last month. Was it last month? No, this month. So there's a link on our website where you can go back and watch the previous craft along as well. And that was using Christmas Treasures set 1. And then finally another piece by Francis with that beautiful colouring technique as well. The Three Wise Men, the manger. See, look, what Frances has done, she's taken the three wise men, she's taken part of Bethlehem, and then she's put the manger in the middle. But when you have a look at the plate, let me just bring those plates into play. Let me just bring those in just to show you sort of like what Frances has done. So Frances, there we go, has just taken a tiny little bit of it sort of as it comes into view, and then taken the star from one of the other plates. Absolutely beautiful. I mean, all the design team is all what they do is absolutely amazing. So I just wanted to share on that, just give us a bit of a breather while we carry on with our piece of artwork. So so I hope you enjoyed the shows. I mean, I was behind the camera most of the time, sort of juggling stock, and because it just went mad again. It really, really did. And the next craft along for Treasures 2 is Friday the 16th of September, I believe. Let me just check my calendar. I'm sure it's Friday the 16th. Yes, Friday the 16th of September for the next craft along. If you've ordered the plates, either from Create and Craft or from here at Clarity, you will get that information sent out as well. And even if you've gone for Christmas Treasures 1, maybe you're just sort of like a treasure behind, so to speak, we'll still send that information out about the new craft along on Friday the 16th as well. And as always, don't worry if you can't join us live, because they're always recorded. They're always available on YouTube for you to go back and watch again and again and again. Okay. Right. So should we have a look at putting some colour on now to our design? So I think I'm gonna. Do I want to go blue like Linda has? I think so. I love. See, I mean, Linda's done this on blue parchment. I kept mine on clear parchment when I created my frame. But you know what? Now we have our beautiful companion papers. That sitting behind just in a solid colour would work really, really well. And there will be a perfect blue to work, because there's 7 different options to choose from now. So if I go with my Pergoline pencils, so we'll stick with the B pencils. So in the B pencils, we've got a couple of blues, okay. But I'm not going to go direct onto my card straight away. What I want to do is test my colour first. Now I'm going to use the side of the pencil. You know how you often do in the shack, let me put a piece of white paper underneath, how you often in the shack with Barb, there we go, you use the side of the pencil to lay the colour down. Okay, so that's that blue there, and then this is the darker blue. See, but that's nice, because when we look at the piece that Linda's created, see, you can go dark in the background and lighter in the foreground. Okay, so I reckon, okay, what did Linda use in her project? Where's the, let's have a look. I reckon Linda used polychromos. What do you reckon, everyone at home? Yeah, she did. She used polychromos. But if you haven't got those, then pergoliners are good. Okay. So what we're going to do first is, do I want a piece of white? No. White's no good underneath, because I can't see the lines. So I'm going to take the side of the pencil, and I'm going on with the darker colour, and I'm just laying down the colour in the sea. Okay. Now it doesn't matter if I go into the white flags. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to put my finger here so that I don't go further than that line. I see Barb do this all the time. It just stops you, doesn't it? It just stops you going over the line. Okay, so we're going to go down, and it's just the side of the pencil. I can get right up to that line in the distance, and if I want, I can come around on this side so that I don't go into the sand. Okay, and then on this one, I'm just going to go just on there. So it doesn't need to be, doesn't have to have much color on there. Okay, so we've got that there, and then I think I'm going to use the same blue, the same technique on the boat. Okay, so I'm going to go, I mean, Linda's done white work on this part of the boat, but it doesn't matter, does it? It's all about changing or adapting the finished piece. So just gently. So I'm going to go darker at the top and towards back. So I've changed the angle in which I'm holding the pencil now. And it's amazing, just by changing the angle. You know, like how Barb often says, the further you hold it, it's like the stencil brushes, the further away from the point you hold it, the softer the effect that you'll get. Okay. And then I reckon on the lighthouse, I'm going to go the dark blue on there. Nice and easy. And I'm not putting pressure on when I apply the colour, because what you'll find with wax-based pencils like the pergoliners or the polychromos is that when you put pressure on, it creates that wax seal, so it makes it harder to sort of blend and move the colours together. So I'm just going to go on, and if you go over the line or colour, you put colour where you don't want it to be, then you can take an eraser pencil and erase the colour. See, because I've gone over just there, and I've gone into the rocks as well. Okay, so we've done that. How is it? Super duper. Right, okay. Spot on sponge, a little bit of Dorso oil, and I want some blending nibs. Now, where are my blending nibs hiding? Has the Groovi Fairy got those as well? Nope, they are in the box. I have them. I found them. Squeaky floorboards. I don't know if you heard that. Okay, so I keep mine in the Pergamano storage container. See, and then I can just take some out. Okay. So, Dorso oil smells lovely. Doesn't stay on the parchment, unfortunately. Way too much. Okay. All I'm going to do is take the tip and just very lightly touch it. If you blink, you missed it. Now, if I come over here, don't know whether you can see how much is on there. If I tilt that, can you see how much just by, there we go. So if there's too much oil on there, then what happens, it will just move it. So let's try and see. So I'm going in a circular motion. And it's definitely working. And I'm just blending that color now. So what it does, it's quite magic. It turns the pencil, sort of like, let me zoom in a little bit. It turns the pencil into sort of like the way I describe it, like a paint or an ink. if that sort of makes sense. Because what it does, oh, sorry, a little bit too fast. So it takes away the grainy effect. So let's pop that underneath. If I put white underneath, there you go. You can see the difference, can't you? Where I've started to, where it's really sort of grainy, where we've just applied the colour, and now I'll remove this because I need to see what I'm doing. But you can see now how it's sort of blending it in and softening the colour down. Okay. So I still haven't reloaded with Dorso oil. It's surprising how far I can get with these little nibs. I can get right up to the edge of the line, so the shoreline. And then we're going to come along. Still not. And what you'll find, you'll know when to apply more Dorso oil, because what will happen is that the colour will stop moving and it won't blend anymore. So I reckon, no, it's not moving as well, but I only want a tiny little bit of oil. There we go. I literally just pop the tip. And now I'm going to turn this round because I want to use the tip. See, I can see, can you see where I've gone over the line there? But I'm not worried. Because I can take an eraser. So say, for example, I coloured the boat red. And then I decided when I coloured it in with the pencils, oh, I really don't like a red boat. I wanted it to be blue. Then I can take the eraser pencil and remove the colour. Okay, so I'm just going to tidy up the edges. Like so. Let's have a look. So we can definitely see the difference here, even on the black, where it's the same colour pencil, but this is now intensified. So if I take a white piece of card and pop that underneath, you can see the difference, can't you? See, this is the magic of the pencils, of the wax-based pencil, that you get that beautiful colour palette. Okay. And then if we turn it over and we have a look at the lighthouse. So where's my glasses gone? I thought they were on my head, but they're not. They're hiding under the parchment. There we go. So I can blend out that colour like so. There we go. So that because these have got such fine tips, I can really go into such small areas. Did anyone come up with a name of a word that is spelt the same but is pronounced different ways, like bow and bow? I didn't catch that, if anybody did. I'll ask Barb when I'm finished. She'll know straight away. So what have we got coming up for you at Clarity Towers this week? Wow. Friday evening at 6 o'clock sees the launch of our 29th birthday here at Clarity. 29 years. Barbara doesn't look a day over 30, does she? So it kicks off at 6 p.m. with a one-day special. Then, so 6 till 7 is a one-day special. Then at 8 p.m. we kick off the weekender. So we've got a weekender and a one-day special kicking off on Friday. Then they continue throughout Saturday. Then on Sunday, we carry on with the Weekender. And then it's the first Sunday of the month. So we've got Clarity Classics with Barb from 3 till 5, the 2-hour bonanza. Then after that, we've got a brand new one-day special launching at 6 o'clock. And which runs through until Monday. So it's Friday all the way through to Monday on Create and Craft. Haven't got any sneaky peeks for you. I'll tell you what's a good idea to do. If you don't already, you may want to sign up to Clarity newsletter. Check out our social media pages. I'm sure Stuart can pop a link in. If you're new to Clarity, maybe you didn't know that you could subscribe to our e-shots and newsletters. So if you sign up, you'll need to just confirm your registration, which is easy. It just say click this link to confirm that you've signed. And then we send out TV guides, we send out reminders. I mean, it's not constant sort of thing. But when we've got something to shout about, we really like to sort of shout about it and share it with you. Another good place to keep an eye out on this week will be barbaragrayblog.com. Barb did a couple of step-by-step tutorials over the weekend. I think she did one yesterday and one on Sunday. So check out Barbara's blog there. We have the Clarity Matters blog. On Saturday, Grace shares many of your artwork on there to see what you've come up with. And then on Sundays, the design team do a fantastic step-by-step Groovi project. And there's always a little timetable at the end of it to say what's coming up the week ahead at Clarity Towers. So there's lots of ways to sort of find out what's going on, to keep you informed. But for me, the easiest one is the signing up to the newsletter stroke e-shots. I see that Stuart has put the link up. So if you click that link, it will take you to the website, enter your email address, and then you'll be notified of all things Clarity, Groovi, fresh cut dies, stamps. There's a brand new range launching from Clarity as the Weekender on Friday at 8 p.m. And say, check out Barb's blog because she'll be showcasing the various different products and the ranges and the times and everything else. So we've got lots going on. I think we worked it out, it was 15 or 16 hours of TV kicking off at 6 p.m. Friday and finishing at 3 p.m. on Monday. So Barb's in the office at the moment. We've just been working out all the demos, the hours, who's doing what we need to do, and there's lots and lots of planning that goes into it. So I reckon there's no Groovi Tuesday for the next 2 weeks because I'm on holiday for 2 weeks. So when we come back, we're definitely going to finish this. And then when I do come back, we'll then work out what we'll do afterwards. Because there's still a lot more to do on this. I want to show you some finishing tricks on like how to cut the work back, whether you use dies or a ruler, how to assemble it. So it's all about the finishing tricks on this one. And I don't really want to rush my colouring in. I'm sure you understand. So when we come back in 2 weeks' time, which will be, let me just check my calendar. So let's have a look. We're in August, blah, blah, blah. So it'll be Tuesday the 20th. So when we come back, we'll finish our colouring and we'll mount our card and finish it completely. So I hope you've enjoyed it. I've had great fun. I always do with your company. And I'll see you on TV Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And if you can't join us, then I'll see you in Groovi Tuesday in 3 weeks' time, 2 weeks' time, 3 weeks' time. So take care now. And don't forget to post all your work that you've been doing over on Clarity and Groovi Worldwide and Pergamano Worldwide. fantastic places for lots of ideas and inspiration. And I know the design team are always in there to help. Grace is always there answering any questions. So thank you. And I will see you when I come back. Take care now. Bye-bye. Thanks, Stuart.